Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. And today we have quite a lot of very important stuff to share. So let's not waste any more time and let's get right into it. So first of all, guys, if you haven't checked this video on my channel out yet where I say do this now, you still have time to go check it out. Check it out. It is on my channel right now. It was called Crypto Holders Watch This Now, Crypto Pump Today, What Now strategy, where I basically describe to you guys a couple of different things you can do to make sure that regardless of what happens, bull or bear market, that your crypto portfolio is going to be good. Now, as I've said before, guys, I am not a financial advisor, and at the end of the day, only you can know what's best for your portfolio. I can't do that for you. I am laying out a couple of different strategies that I know some mega whales in crypto are using to make sure that portfolios are as safe as possible from some perspective. And that's also what I'm basically explaining in that video. And right now, if you had looked into what I said right there, you most likely would have been in a pretty good position right now, as we basically got ourselves a Bitcoin short or Ethereum short or whatever crypto short in a couple of percentages higher, as I made this video about 24 hours ago. And if you look back at all the prices, guys, everything is down about, let's say, 3% on average, with a couple of coins like Luna even being down 11. Now, if you don't know, guys, we short, long, whatever, trade these cryptos over on Bybit. And if you don't have a Bybit account just quite yet, use the link down below, make yourself an account. And I'm actually doing a couple of giveaways rather soon. I've told you I have a couple of $1,000s that we need to give away. I still have it. We just haven't picked any winners. So, yeah, I just need to figure out a little way to distribute the money. So I could just either pick a couple of y'all, I can just do a challenge. I'm not exactly sure what we should do, but make sure you check the link down below and go ahead and check it out for yourselves. All right, having said that, what's going on? Well, the crypto market is in a little bit of a turmoil. It's a little bit difficult because even though the stock market as of this point is still looking positive, it's again a scenario of we'll have to see tomorrow. We know some very heavy regulations are coming in for crypto. We literally talked about that the last couple of days. We've seen Russia talk about it. We've seen the US talk about it. We've seen China talk about it. There's a lot of speculation about things. And so that's also going to itch closer and closer and closer as these bills become more of a reality. And that's actually something which might also break this correlation between the stock market and the crypto market. But as of this point, guys, well, the stock market is up, the crypto market is down. It's going to depend on tomorrow to see what the stock market is going to do. We can make some assumptions about whether or not it's going to continue on with the recovery or basically with the dump, but we'll have to see. Only time will tell. But let's quickly move on to some of the news. So, crypto ban in Russia can have opposite effect. Medvedev warns of or as opposition mounts against proposal. Dmitry, former president and prime minister of Russia, has voiced his concerns over Bank of Russia's initiative to ban most crypto operations. Prohibition could bring the opposite result, the Russian politician warned, joining a chorus of opinions against the restrictive policy. Guys, quickly letting you all know, I'm not a native English speaker. All right, I sometimes see people write down, you said that wrong, buddy. And I believe here that I spelled disastrous wrong. My bad, all right? My bad. And again, it's my second language, not my first one, for all of you that are wondering about that one. I will mess up a couple of times, but hey, I try, all right? I would say with the amount of times I mess up the language, we're still in the category of he's doing fine. So if I mess up even more, keep letting me know in the comment section because I want to get better. But just so you know, all right? All right. So this whole story is actually not extremely important depending on how you look at it. It's just Russia's internal struggles to regulate crypto properly in the sense that one hand of the country really wants to ban it, then the other hand is really against banning it. And we don't really know the underlying reasons. Is it like for the case of what he says, purely because you can get opposite effects when you ban something that's only going to become worse, or because they honestly believe in the technology. Now, from Putin's perspective, I do believe he said technology, very big appeal, so we want to basically keep it in for that reason, mostly also to compete with the US. And he's kind of saying that he thinks that banning it, like with a couple other things in the world that we know, it might only get worse. There's something to be said about both of them, but I'm honestly on the same side as them, saying most likely banning it is not going to do too much good, more bad. So why even attempt it? And if you're going to be the one to ban it, you're not going to be the leader in where every other country will follow suit or anything like that. So you basically be one of the odd ones out who's leaving out on a lot of tax dollars potentially. I don't think it's a very smart idea. But again, who am I, right? All right, so Bitcoin and Ethereum are in early adoption days, says Bloomberg Intelligence Analyst. This makes absolutely no sense. Bitcoin and Ethereum remain in early adoption days with increasing demand versus declining supply and related price implications. Our bias is why complicated. Unless something unlikely reverses, the proliferation of a nascent technology, prices should rise over time. So the reason it doesn't really make a lot of sense is because remain in early adoption days with increasing demand versus declining supply. Well, in this case here, I mean, price go up because more people want to have it and want to pay more than what the other guy wanted to pay for it? Or, I mean, exactly how does this become relevant, or why does this make sense, or how should you interpret this? What should you do with this data? The fact that, yeah, people wanted more and there's actually less and less getting in there. It's also not officially true. Bitcoin as of this point is actually still inflationary. Ethereum officially is deflationary. I believe that's officially in terms of how much gets burned versus how much comes into the supply is deflationary in essence. Now, having said that, the difficulty lies in understanding exactly what we should interpret this as, or what we should do with the information given. Increasing demand. Well, if there was increasing demand and declining supply, the prices should have gone up, but since the prices go down, there's literally decreasing demand. Or if you say, no, but there's increase, well, how then? Because it's a supply and demand curve and battle, and apparently there's more supply than demand, which is why the prices go down, right? And that's why I said this doesn't make a lot of sense. It just depends on how far you kind of draw that out, though. If you want to say over a longer period of time, there's been more demand, yeah, that's why the logarithmic chart and Bitcoin as a whole keeps going up, and most likely will do that. But I don't know exactly what you can do with this. So it became pretty popular. This article, I saw a couple of people talk about it, and I also saw quite a lot of comments. It was quite controversial, so I thought I should share it. But Elon believes Robinhood wallets are a huge deal for Dogecoin. It is. Every major exchange like that, like PayPal, Robinhood, whatever, if they get into crypto wallets, that basically means that all these guys who just bought crypto for fun or got into it through them, who before were just investors in some sort of thing, not really a name for it, as of this point, they're really crypto holders who can just withdraw, send, and interact with the crypto that they own. Very big step, very huge for Dogecoin specifically because a large whole amount of Dogecoin holders are over on Robinhood. I guess, which is also just juicy for them, right? We cannot really say anything else about that situation. A couple hours ago, China pilots a nationwide blockchain development over real-world use cases. Kind of contrarian, kind of funny, because as we said before, China looks to be very much against crypto and everything alike. But apparently some of the key areas of blockchain development include manufacturing, energy, government, data sharing and services, law enforcement, taxation, criminal trials, inspection, and cross-border finance. So from the cross-border finance, I was kind of thinking, hey, maybe XRP has a little bit of a use in there, or at least they're not going to be so angry with them or something like that. But to be honest with you, we can read ourselves into a lot of these papers. At the end of the day, I have absolutely no idea what China wants or what they're trying to do or anything along those lines. I know, for example, that they're pretty nice with the VeChain technology, and I mean Tron and whatever also surviving in that landscape over there, and we have more where that comes from. Then again, they have banned it and are not really so happy with it all. So I'm kind of like, so they're pretty exciting about NFTs, or excited, but they're so against crypto. So they know there are possibilities for them to adopt it in some way, shape, or forms, and they know they have to do it to compete with the US and whatnot. It's a very difficult debate and very difficult to kind of find a way through. So once more, I've read through every single article about Chinese crypto tax, and I should say Chinese crypto regulations. I think the majority of them. I'm going to say 95%, because I read a lot of crypto news and a lot of crypto stuff. And I still don't fully grasp their intention or thoughts behind it. I can speculate, and what I speculate, for example, is that they are very much for competing with the US in the crypto field and using some distributed ledger technologies to their own benefit, albeit not negative for the digital yuan. The reason they ban it, again, this is just my own interpretation, this is not by any means fact, is that they are banning it purely out of, okay, let's ban it for right now, we can come back on this later, like they've done, let's say 5 times, a plethora of times in the past, which they can, again, just do if they really want to. And I'm kind of in my head thinking that's what they're trying right now. They banned it outright and made sure that others can interact whilst the digital yuan was coming up. Once that's rolled out properly, they want to go back to compete, and they just got to find a way to make sure that this Bitcoin thing that's right now so circulating, so popular, cannot overtake or hurt the Chinese yuan. But after that's settled and set in, and they know they have the control back again, I think they're going to expand because they already feel, I think, that they let go of a lot of that power. But then again, that's also a questionable thing because they would have made a lot of money in terms of tax dollars on all the Bitcoin mining, but they also would have had a kind of like, I think they would have had more control. And I think that is actually a really not so smart move on their side, my own interpretation, that they let go of all the Bitcoin mining power over in China. Because again, even though they can't really officially ban it in any way, shape, or form, if China really wanted to, they could have exerted so much pressure on those miners over in China, potentially done something with that if they really wanted to. And right now, since they've moved to different countries, they don't have that pressure anymore. So I think that would have actually been worse for the US. As we see now in the US, Biden calling it a national security, the Bitcoin, or the regulations for it. Yeah, there's something to be said about the fact that they should have maybe not banned it outright. All right, Terra Luna plunged 25%, which has been crazy. So one of the reasons that Luna is not doing so well is partially because of UST FUD, and there's actually quite a lot where that came from, man. I've actually been interacting with it quite a lot over the last couple of days, just trying to find my way around to make money, so to speak. And I've basically been, I guess, calling out a couple of things throughout videos like this where I explain my thoughts and whatnot. But wow, there's been so much FUD and so many disputes and everything that I've also read about. I'm not exactly sure what one of the other names was. That Wonderland, there we go, Wonderland, that I've read all the drama about. So Time, MIM, and Luna tokens and coins suffer from Wonderland. So Wonderland DAO, that's right now why there's so many talks of DAOs, by the way. They basically had it so that the people had to vote about what happens to Wonderland. But, and that's where the bigger problem lies, the community voted for them to continue on, yet they decided we're not going to do that though. And why? Well, because it was about a 50-50. A little bit more people voted yes to stay than rather to quit. Yet they decided to keep on themselves saying, if this many people think we shouldn't go on, then it most likely means we failed and we want to kind of stop it all. That's kind of the interpretation that I got from it. So let's quickly check out what this article says right here. MAM funding issues. The funding of the stablecoin was drained by more than 40% from 530 million to 300 on Curve. The reason behind the liquidity is more likely tied to news about Wonderland developers being involved in the Kujiga CX exit scam. Now, numerous Wonderland projects are tied to the Abracadabra protocol, which acts as a foundation of the Magic Internet Money stablecoin. The panic around the coin and Luna is being fueled by the fact that all of the assets are tied up with each other. As funding data suggests, after the first news about scandalous developer anonymization appeared in the space, funding of UST and MAM stablecoins almost immediately dropped by approximately 30%. According to the most recent data on-chain, the community of Wonderland DAO has initiated a vote for removal of the former Quadriga developers from the project, and I believe that he's been removed, by the way. So there was one, I believe it's only one person, but I can't be wrong on that. That person has been removed. I saw it on Twitter just now, but I cannot confirm. According to CoinMarketCap data, the price of the Time token has swiftly dropped from 1,000 to 385 in a week. Users have tied the increasing selling pressure with the project developer, constantly moving 200,000 worth of Time tokens from the market. That's what you sometimes get, you know. Sad news. It's the way it is, though, guys. It's the way it is. All right, regarding XRP, bullish XRP sentiment on Ripple's ability to prevail in the SEC case gains momentum after $200 million shares buyback. I've actually had a really big discussion about this. I believe it was yesterday or the day before, and I didn't share it on the channel just quite yet. And there was actually a discussion about whether or not this buyback is a good or bad thing, because there's actually arguments to be made for both sides. Now, in my own belief, the reason why it's very good is because it shows that Ripple has quite a lot of faith in the fact they're going to win. One of the reasons that you might call this bad is because they're basically working some of these guys out that they might have had a conflict with. And so they're also kind of showcasing, hey, we want to focus less on innovation and growth. We'd rather have some stock back to either dissolve or basically stop some problems from happening. And I'd rather spend 50% extra on whatever you paid, which again is kind of weird because they had a lawsuit with Tetragon before where they didn't want to pay him back for all the money that they spent. And right now they're paying them back 50% more than whatever they invested, which again, it's kind of odd in the way that things are going. And there's actually a lot of theories where that came from as well, why it might be bad in some way, shape, or form. But honestly, guys, I see it as a really good thing. You can shift this little thing as far as you want to, and a lot of things will make sense. We ultimately don't know. What we do know, though, is that I think there's more reasons for why it would be bullish than bearish, mostly based upon the fact that Ripple has more Ripple stock, and so they even have more incentive to do good for themselves. And even though Ripple and XP are not one-to-one, obviously we all know a little bit about the fact that if Ripple keeps prevailing with XP's adoption, ultimately I think it's going to be nice for XRP. That again does not take away that Ripple and XP are different things, and that I think the majority of the XP price movement is not tied to Ripple in any way, shape, or form. I do believe they might have some sort of effect eventually if they really try their best and kind of keep up, so to speak. And in another sense, I guess I've done the way out for myself, and I think, man, what are the chances of them having some really ill intent with this buyback? I'm like, nah, I don't know. It's just a gut feeling, I guess, because I can't really base it upon anything objective in that sense. It's just a gut feeling that they're buying this back for some deeper reason that we can't fathom, but that most likely was a very, very smart business. So you got to remember, these are multi-billion-dollar companies that we're talking about. These are not no kids in the backyard playing a little bit, you know? So that's what I've been thinking about in that sense. Let's move on, though. Oh, we already covered this one. Last one in that sense. Goldman Sachs, buy Bitcoin, no wait. Buy gold, the defense real asset. Banks tip on protecting against inflation. So my tip against protecting against inflation, once more, not financial advice, is to make sure you always have a hedge. And gold is actually not a really bad one. I personally said I'm shorting the market because I really found a strategy there that works the best. And if you have watched this video, you know exactly about what I meant. Make sure you check that video out, guys, and make sure you press the like button, by the way. But honestly, it's just about finding balance in whatever portfolio that you're building to make sure that whatever happens that you're going to come out on top eventually and that you're never too burned. I literally had some, okay, I shouldn't, it's a little bit too personal of a story. Never mind. Let's just, let me anonymize it a little bit. How do I do that? I'm in contact with an individual who got really burned hard. I don't know if you're watching this, my friend, but hey, you know, you contacted me, so I mean, I can talk about it on my channel, I guess. I have an individual who contacted me because he basically does really bad in the crypto bear market. So logically speaking, I had a couple of questions like, how? You're doing so good before? What happened? And the response was mostly, well, I burned all my accounts, which can happen. By the way, guys, whenever I talk about Buyback, whenever I talk about trading, know that I'm always talking about trading responsibly. And I would never tell you that I think it's a smart idea to do something crazy or irrational. I would say, think about these things properly. And if you're going to involve yourself in leverage trading, which I personally am, I do that all the time, I honestly think you should do your own due diligence. Don't just ape in, which I'll never tell you to do, but I have a tutorial down there for if you want some tips on how to get started potentially. Then again, think these things through. And same thing for investing in general. Think it through. Don't just think, I'm going to buy crypto, become rich. Think it through. I've seen so many wrong theories in the comment section too, guys. And a lot of the stuff I talk about here on this channel is very basic. If we're talking about investing, the majority of the principles are very basic and very easy to find out. It takes, let's say, 15 minutes of a Google search to find the core principles of investing. Yet there's, I'm going to say, at least 30% of the people that watch these videos that don't actually know them. And one thing I got to quickly say as well, if you honestly think that I, for example, or a lot of these other guys, because I saw that just now, I replied to in the comment section, and making XRP videos to manipulate the XP price, or because I'm a will and I want the XP price to go up, please reconsider. There's a couple of reasons for the reason I'm saying that. One, I know more Bitcoin wills that hold more XRP, let me say it properly, than XRP guys. And generally speaking, with a market that's multi-billions of dollars, these 8,000 views that I get on a video, I don't think they're going to change too much. And really, guys, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, I don't care if you buy or sell the token. It's not going to change my portfolio whatsoever. I'm just sharing whatever I'm thinking and whatever comes to mind. Again, this was not a call out to me, but I'm just letting you know. A lot of XRP guys, they have a very false belief of what's going to happen. I don't run by those rules. As I'm telling you, I think $10 is going to happen. I think $10 is going to happen. If we're talking about $10,000 a coin, I tell you the scenarios in which I think is going to happen, but I'm not going to say, hey, it's most likely going to happen next year. I honestly believe so. Or I believe $500 per XP is going to happen next month. Let's wait for it. Let's hope. No, of course not. Rational, reasonable, and think about these things that are actually making money instead of wishful thinking and scenarios. You know, think about the real things, basically. That's my more so focus. However, just because a person on YouTube says so does not mean that they're just saying that for you to buy their back. These people can actually honestly think or hope that such a thing is going to happen. And again, it can be for informational or entertainment purposes that you guys bundle together, watch the video, and enjoy the show, literally, as that's what some people are doing. On this channel, we focus more on things that I think are objective with my opinion on the side, more so than just price predictions out of thin air and speculatory theories that make absolutely no sense in the real world or how to make money with that. But again, I'm sometimes a little bit of a hypocrite in the sense that I do also post some stupid stuff every now and then. But just understand that I'm never intending for you to buy my bag. And if I talk about a crypto, it's purely to give some information, not for you to buy that specific crypto. Because at the end of the day, I literally do not give any 1% on whether or not you buy the tokens that I hold, because I don't think you're going to increase the price. I don't believe in that, and I don't do it for that reason. Just a quick little disclaimer. Then again, if you guys want to buy my bag, I'll leave a donation. No, just kidding, guys. It's just a little joke. Hopefully, you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to the channel. And I'll definitely see you guys again in another crypto video. I have more stuff to talk about, but we might do that in a different video. Now comes the hardest part of the crypto video stuff, thinking of a title. So I'll see you back in 7 hours when I've thought of a proper title, as it takes me so long to think of something good, catchy, but not clickbait, where I actually put in the title something I don't talk about, but it's so hard. First world problems, huh? First world problems.